Hello, and welcome to The Picture, a Koch Industries spotlight series offering a look at the transformational and inspirational stories happening right here in Wichita. I'm Melissa Scheffler. What if your past mistakes kept you from a successful future? Unfortunately, that's the reality for many in the criminal justice system. And that's the motivation behind Koch's support for second chance hiring. Today, we'll sit down with Richard McMichael. He rides his bike 8 miles to work from the Wichita Work Release Facility every day. While incarcerated, he learned about Koch's criminal justice reform efforts and wrote this letter to Chairman and CEO Charles Koch, all in hopes of a second chance.
Dear Mr. Koch, my name is Richard McMichael, and I am currently an inmate at Winfield Correctional Facility in the Kansas Department of Corrections. I am writing this letter in the hope that you may determine that I am worthy of a second chance. When I entered the Kansas Department of Corrections 3 years ago, I was lost. This all changed for me when I came across an article on Koch Industries' commitment to second chances and criminal justice reform. And I began reading and learning all the material I could on Koch Industries and you, Charles Koch. This led to my adoption of the guiding principles at a personal level. Rooting myself in the guiding principles has enabled me to obtain a BA in Business Administration and graduating summa cum laude with a 4.0 GPA. Every morning, I am bused from the prison to my designated work detail, which is maintenance for the K-96 highway. As I walk along K-96 in prison clothes, I look up and see the brown and black building standing tall as the symbol that represents the possibility of a second chance. This beautiful building is Koch Industries headquarters. I understand that I will probably spend the rest of my life trying to atone for my catastrophically bad decisions. However, adversity is a blessing in disguise and is certainly the greatest character builder. Should you and Koch Industries provide me with the opportunity to show that I can be a valued member of the Koch Industries team, I will prove to be one of your best hires and a textbook example of why Koch Industries' commitment to second chances creates value for the company while transforming lives. Sincerely, Richard McMichael.
When we come back, we'll talk with Richard about the path from prison to reaching his full potential at Koch. Welcome back to The Picture. With his positive attitude and strong work ethic, Richard doesn't take his second chance for granted. Let's hear about the life-changing journey that got him where he is today, thriving in a full-time position at Koch. What do you do here at Koch?
So I work on the exchange settlement team. We handle all the clearing broker and exchange activity for Koch Minerals and Trading.
Richard now has his dream job.
Hey, Richard.
But the path to get there wasn't easy.
Didn't go the traditional path. Started out traditional. Graduated high school, went to KU, took education as a right, not a privilege, and ended up making some really bad decisions. I got into a bar fight, and I ended up selling drugs to try to pay some of our legal bills. And got caught doing that. I wasn't very successful. I was a pretty bad criminal. And then ended up getting sentenced to 61 months in KDOC.
And you didn't have a record before this?
No.
Even without a prior record, Richard was given the maximum sentence for his crimes. The future seemed grim. But Richard found hope when he came across Koch Industries' criminal justice reform efforts.
I started out just trying to find something to do. I mean, you're stuck in a cell. It's really all there is to do is read, so I was just reading a bunch of books. I ended up coming across an article, and in that mentioned that Koch Industries is committed to second chance hiring.
This article inspired Richard to immerse himself in books written by Charles Koch, starting with The Science of Success and Good Profit. It wasn't long before Richard began applying Koch's guiding principles in prison, the same principles that Koch employees strive to live by and ultimately define the organization.
I think I kind of got a real draw to Charles because he talks about these principles. And at the point I'm at, I'm sitting in a jail cell. I mean, it can't get any worse. Kind of made the choice, well, I'll give it a shot. And he talks about principled entrepreneurship. I'll try it. Talks about this knowledge in the sense of a continued dedication to learning. That's probably my favorite principle.
It was the knowledge principle. that helped him pursue his degree in business administration while incarcerated.
I took a ridiculous amount of hours. I think my first semester I started with 18, then I did 27, and then 31 hours. So after I graduated, it's when I wrote to Mr. Buckley and then the Charles Koch.
John Buckley assists Koch companies in making second chance hires. Richard credits him for helping him prepare to enter the workforce.
When he got into his work release status, he sent me a personal letter.
He said, I can't promise you an employment opportunity, but I can promise I'll do everything I can. And he did.
I reviewed his resume. I coached him through the screening and the interview processes.
It helped immensely, and I interviewed, and I got the job.
When we come back, we'll hear more from John Buckley, as well as Richard's supervisors, on why second chance hiring is mutually beneficial for all involved. While second chance hiring led to an incredible success story for Richard, it's also a success story for Koch and society. Let's talk to John Buckley about how it all works. Why does Koch support second chance hiring?
In the country, we have about 700,000 people who are returning to society every year. Roughly 75 to 77% of them will recidivate within the first 5 years. A single recidivism event here in Kansas costs $150,000. Add that back into a very heavily overcrowded, populated prison society here in the state of Kansas, and we're spending over $10 million on overtime alone for our prison guards. It increases taxes if we want to sustain that. If you can give suitable employment with sustainable wages to an individual that's returning to society, the likelihood of the recidivism goes down tremendously. It saves the community money. Secondarily, it makes the community safer. For the company, the benefit is, again, using Richard as an example, he's very clearly resembling what I see in a lot of folks who get a second chance, in the sense of being extremely loyal, being very dedicated and committed to excelling, not just meeting the minimum requirements. And the young man is doing everything he can to get to work on time. He rides his bicycle to and from work. Snow, rain, sleet, you name it. He will do what it takes to get here.
John's not the only one who can testify to Richard's dedication. His supervisors, Kiera and Lynne, witness his tremendous work ethic every day.
He had all the things we were looking for. He had the aptitude and the drive and the initiative that we really wanted for this role.
I knew right away that he was the right fit because he was so excited about Koch and so excited to be in a place where he could make a difference and create value. He had understood our values and beliefs and our principles very well.
He wants to learn. He is like a sponge and just wants to take it all on and fix the world. And I think just his gratefulness, like he is extremely grateful to be a part of the team.
He has worked so hard to get to where he's at and put in so much effort. And I think people build the stereotype that once people are in the system, so to speak, that they can't get out. And look at what he's done. He's done that.
What would you say to employees who might feel a little uncomfortable with this still?
I would say that Richard went through every background check that every person does that comes to work at Koch, and he was cleared through all the checks.
Look, we've all made mistakes, and you don't want somebody to suffer for their entire life because of a mistake they made. Furthermore, they have paid for those mistakes. I think we need to be able to not only look at the mistake, but also look at what they've done to overcome those mistakes and take the person at that face value.
There's a lot of brokenness in our prison and justice system. And I feel that if we continue to treat individuals as though they're like second-class citizens and not give them the opportunity to add value to the company and to our community, then we're kind of part of the problem.
If we can help them overcome all those barriers to acclimate and assimilate back into society, that's the creating the second chance.
Thanks to that second chance, Richard continues to flourish in his role at Koch.
For me, for my second chance that Koch gave me, it's getting to just restart my life and actually have a future and be happy, and also contribute to society and not be a drain.
I would say Richard has exceeded my expectations. He's a very good problem solver and just a great asset to the team because he's positive and interacts very well with everybody.
He's a model citizen, he's a model employee, and I think he's a great example for not just folks who are reentering society, but all of our employees. He was literally picking up trash on 96, and he looked over to see Koch Industries and its buildings and said, one day I'm going to work there.
Where I sit, you can walk over to the window and see the highway, and it's a very good reminder. And anytime something happens at work and I want to even think about getting annoyed or agitated, all you gotta do is look at the highway and be like, are you kidding? And then you just go right back to smiling and going to work.
Since filming, Richard completed his time and work release and continues to create value at Koch every day. Thanks for watching The Picture. We hope this gives you a better perspective of the positive stories happening in Wichita. See you next Sunday.